Hello, hello, hello. Right. Hi, everybody. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Just wait for a few people to join in. Okay. All right. So wait for about 2 minutes and then we'll begin. I'm excited about this series of webinars that we've got coming up this next 2 weeks. Okay, admit everybody in. Hi, so whilst everyone's waiting, if you just introduce yourself in the chat box, introduce yourself, so your name, if you have a business, what's the name of your business, and also any social media as well that you think people should follow. And also introduce yourself, put an interesting fact about you as well. It's good to see so many of you coming in. Okay, so we're going to begin. I'm just going to begin by playing the video. So hi everybody, my name is Oyen Adebayo. I am the CEO of Neo Enterprise. If you're not on mute, please put yourself on mute so that everybody can hear us. There'll be plenty of time to ask questions and to speak, because I really want this to be as interactive as possible. As much as this is an informative session, it's also going to be a session where you guys are going to get a chance to introduce yourself as well as introduce your projects or businesses that you're currently taking part in. So if you haven't already, please introduce yourself in the chat box. Put an interesting fact about you, as well as what your business, and any social media that people should follow, because you never know, your next business partner, your next customer could be here. So make sure you're sharing, and this is also a platform to network with as many people as possible. So you are welcome to our study series. As I said, my name is Oyen and I'm the CEO here at Neo Enterprise. So I am going to be talking to you today about how to get ahead of the curve. So currently, as you all know, there is a lot of economic uncertainty right now, especially in regards to, we never saw COVID-19 coming. So we actually didn't expect this. Not in a million years did any of us think that this was going to happen. But before I go into what we're going to talk about today, I just want to introduce what Neo Enterprise is for those that may be joining for the first time, or just hearing about Neo Enterprise. We're an organization that shatters poverty. I like that word, because we want to break the vicious cycle of poverty by economically empowering Black women through hair, beauty, and technology. And so that's what we do. That's the center of what we do. We really just we have an issue with poverty, and we want to be able to do something about it. So how do we do that? So we're currently made up of 2 brands, although we're not restricted to the 2 brands. Neo Enterprise is almost like an umbrella company for all of our creative brands. We're currently working on 2 main brands. One part of the brand is Neo Hair, and the other part is Neo Network. So Neo Hair, what does Neo Hair do? So we provide services and products. So we provide a mobile hairdressing service across the Midlands, and we also provide products for all of our customers as well. Neo Network too, we provide programs, events. So some of you might have been to our annual summit, Beyond Hair Summit. So at that, at the summit, people learn about different things, in regards to how to innovate in business, and also how to innovate as career people as well. So we're not restricted to these 2 brands. However, that's kind of how we are developing right now. Exciting things that are coming up with a Neo Enterprise. So we are developing a tech solution that simplifies the process of you getting your hair done. Right now, for a Black woman, it can take us weeks for us to decide and actually get our hair done or change a hairstyle. So we want to be able to simplify that process for you guys. On top of that, we are starting a coding bootcamp in collaboration with Coding Black Females. It's a free coding bootcamp in the West Midlands, and at the end of the program, at least 40 women will be able to get a job at the end of it. And so how exciting is that? So if you're interested in tech, or interested in pivoting your career, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that in this session. If you're interested in pivoting or moving careers, and you want to explore something more sustainable, this bootcamp is for you, especially if you are based in the West Midlands. And at the end of it, great thing about it is that you are guaranteed a job over 30K a year. So you'll be guaranteed a job and be earning over 30K a year, because it will be the technology industry. All right. So I just want to go over what's going to be happening over the next 2 weeks. So this is called the Steady webinars. And the reason why I and Laulu, so Laulu is the CMO of Neo Enterprise, we really had a burden of how to help women in this time to be able to remain resilient despite what the economy will throw at us, and it's throwing at us currently as well. So we have some amazing speakers over the next 2 weeks that will be joining us. So we've got people like Dominique Lescott, who is the CEO of Hairpop. Hairpop is an online marketplace for Black hair and beauty brands. We've got And the IM, who's a product expert, he's so amazing. He talks about how to make sure that your business model is consistent and you're speaking to your customer correctly, which is what we need more than ever before now. He's also an investor as well, and he owns an angel investing school. We've got Lulu Pierre, who's the CEO of Boho Lux, also going to be in the same session with Andy IM. And essentially she has created these amazing crochet locks, and it literally has, revolutionized over the internet. And we've got our very own business advisor and strategy innovation expert also speaking on here. And Lauren Lefranc, who is a barrister and also the founder of the Little Coffee Company. She's won various awards in terms of how she helps female farmers become sustainable in Jamaica. So that's the lineup of speakers. And we've got many more speakers as well who will come on here and share their story and help motivate and keep you guys ready. So what is the plan for this 2 weeks? Over the next 2 weeks, we're going to be having 2 webinars per week. And we really wanted to do it 1 per week, but however, we know that, lockdown may end at the end of April, and actually you may want to have the tools to understand how to become resilient post-lockdown. So today I'll be speaking about, being a business in this time and how to get ahead of the curve. So I've got an economics background, and so I'm going to be talking a lot about things from a macro level. And what I mean by that is things from a whole country level, and I'm going to be relating it to your business. Sometimes we forget about how the whole economy can affect our businesses, and so I really want to be able to kind of help you guys understand that. Now, on Thursday, we are also going to be talking about how to add a value to your customers now and post-COVID. So you'll be able to identify habits and trends of the consumers during the economic downturn, and also speak about data points. So what that basically means is, at what point do you make sure that you are engaging with your customer? What's the starting point? When you think about data points, you may just be thinking about just online, but data points is, at what point, for example, if you're a food business, the first point that you need to get engaged with your customers at the point where they're feeling hungry or they're thinking about the food. So we're going to be delving into that, and also the lack of data and how we can make data more available as Black women and Black businesses as well. Now, on week 2, we are also, we're going to be talking about recession readiness, making sure that your business models. So for those that don't know what business models mean, it's basically the means in which people know you run your business. For example, the business model for Amazon is software as a service, which basically means that people buy product on Amazon. So make sure that you've got the right business model, especially for right now. And also looking at what other businesses are doing to prepare. So that's next week, the 27th. By the way, the 27th is a Monday, not a Tuesday. So please put that in your diary to make sure that you are aware and you don't miss it, because it's going to be really good. And the IM is going to be at that session, and he's just an amazing teacher generally. Also, the last session is going to be on the 30th of April, and that's going to be on strategy and risk planning. We're going to be talking about strategy, risk planning, and we're going to also be talking about supply chains. As a business, if you're selling products and stuff, and you may be shipping your product from China or another country, how is this climate affecting, and how can you make sure that you are not losing out? And we're also going to be getting some legal advice as well, even during this time. So that is currently the plan. If you guys have any questions, or you want me to talk about anything specific or ask for any specific advice, be it funding, current funding out there. I didn't really want to focus on funding in this webinar, because I know that there's a lot of information already out there about the funding available. But if you want me to talk about that, please put that in the chat box, and I would be happy to. And no question is stupid. Please feel free to speak and to put things in the chat box. At some point in this In this call, we are going to ask you how you found the session, so that we, it will help us in make things better for the next one. Right. If you are with me, please put a thumbs up in the chat so I understand that you are with me. Roxy, you can't see or hear anything. Can you please, if you turn on your video and your audio, can everyone hear me, by the way? If you can't hear me, please let me know so that I can cool, awesome. Everyone can hear me. Roxy, can you hear now? Because I don't want you to miss out. Okay. All right, okay. So yeah. Lauli will be able to support you if you can't if you can't hear, in terms of, like, if you just message Lauli directly, so she's also here as well. Okay, so just moving on. Tomorrow it wouldn't be me speaking. Thursday it wouldn't be me doing most of the speaking. It would be Lauli with Dominique and Dawn, who is a marketeer, talking to you guys. So I just wanted to kind of talk about me a little bit, just so that you guys can get a bit of context from where I'm coming from, and try to understand where I'm, try to understand the perspective that I'm sharing from. So I am 24 years old. I'm 24 years old. I have worked in Rolls-Royce as a project manager, about 2-3 years ago now, it seems. And I got featured in the Nottingham Post for the work that I did there. Basically, I helped save a lot of money for the organization at the time. I've also run projects that have the aim to empower female entrepreneurs. So for example, one of the projects I ran was called Core, and essentially what we did was that we used coffee scrubs and face scrubs to empower sex workers to become female entrepreneurs. I was also one of the only woman and the only black woman and the only black person and woman to pitch at the massive festival Enterprise here in Birmingham, for our upcoming tech solution. I've worked with Brandon Norwood to style her hair when she came to tour in the UK. My work has been featured in Black Beauty and Hair magazine. We just won £250,000 funding to run this coding bootcamp with the West Midlands Combined Authority. We ran Beyond Hair Summit, which had over 300 people in Birmingham, just February just gone. And so that's kind of where I'm coming from. Aside from that, I am an academic, there we go, that's the better way to say it. I'm an academic, so I study a master's in development economics at the University of Birmingham right now. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Now, can everyone hear me? Okay. Right. Okay, awesome. So being a business, so I don't know if where people couldn't hear, but what I'm going to be talking about today is being a business that gets ahead of the curve. So if everyone can type, if you have a business, or even if you don't have a business, or you just you're in employment, if you're in employment, if you just want to put how COVID has affected your business, positively or negatively. Okay. I can't. Apologies. Which button do you press, please? Can you hear us, Lulu, now? Okay. So I can't. So has COVID-19 affected anyone? So I'm a hairstylist and COVID has affected it negatively as I've been unable to take clients, no remote working for such business really. I understand the hair part of our business is like cancelled essentially because we can't really run. So I really understand and I can really empathize with that. It's given me the opportunity to become more active in my business in terms of creating online content. That's really good. I think, again, one of the things, especially with Elizabeth, one of the things that I would be addressing today is as much as, a lot of hairstylists can't, run anything right now, they can't service their clients right now. What are the alternative ways that you can make income, you can produce some sort of income? Okay. Arranging photo shoots and other projects has been hard for a lot of creatives. Absolutely. Hey, yes, I'm a social worker and I have supported living business which hasn't been affected by COVID-19. That is amazing, because obviously that's an essential service, giving me opportunity to learn new styles and ways to market myself. Really good. So there's some positive things. Now, chances are, if you are a business who is completely reliant upon providing a service and you can't go virtual, chances are this would have hit you. And the thing is, none of us were expecting this. I mean, I didn't expect this to come. None of us were expecting this to come, but actually what it challenged me was actually what were my contingency and risk plans should a nature of God appear. So one of the things if you're taking notes, please make sure you're taking notes. What COVID-19 should teach us as business owners and business leaders is to make sure that we are putting aside a contingency plan. So making sure that your risk plan has contingencies if a nature of God was to arise or if anything was to happen, maybe to you as the business owner, or to also the economy generally and how and the effect on your business. I know that Wimbledon actually put aside, I believe it was like over 436 million pounds, and they've accumulated all of that over the years in insurance, specifically for occurrences of natural disasters or acts of God. So can you do that? Can you make sure that you're putting aside, maybe even if it's 2 to 5% of your profits every year aside, to make sure that if you are unable to function as a business, you've still got that to survive on, especially as a business owner, and also for your employees also to kind of survive too. So that's one of those things as well. Obviously, there's government help out there, but I know that government help is really good here in the UK, or is decent. There's obviously, it's not perfect, but actually I know that some other countries there's no such thing as government aid or government help in this time. It's almost very scarce, and people are almost forced to scratch their heads to know where their food is going to come from. So my simple advice was just make sure that you're putting aside some money, to make sure that you are okay post this. And actually, when you realize when you've got money aside and you've put money aside for your business and you're still able to function, you can now start to look at, in a time of crisis, you can use that time to look at how can you innovate, just like Tanu and also Elizabeth I know and Elizabeth has also been working on content. So looking at ways to innovate, not just online content, because as much as it's good to have online content, but ways that you can innovate your systems, ways that you can innovate your processes. So for example, if you're a hairstylist, this time should be the time that you're looking to see, okay, how can I automate my responses from me to my clients? Can I look at ways to do that? It doesn't mean that you can launch that right now, but you can start to look at ways in making sure that you are doing the things that you should do, and you're making sure that you're being as effective as possible, especially in this time. So those are like advices to like, how do we innovate, post this, and get, and stand out from the crowd, aside from social media content, which is really, really good. What are the things that's going to make us stand out in our processes, and also in our customer interaction? Okay, so now after I've gone through that exercise, I'm going to talk about globalization a little bit. And you may be thinking, why are we talking about globalization when this is talking about businesses? Now, actually, whether we like it or not, globalization has an effect on our businesses. It might be in a negative way and it might be in a positive way. Okay, so for example, what is globalization? Essentially, globalization is the effect of countries being able to trade freely with others. So the fact that China can trade freely with the United Kingdom is a pure example of globalization. Now, this can be good if you're an organization that wants to be able to cater for the globe, for the world. Globalization is actually really important for you as a business. But actually, if you're an organization that wants to just cater, or your business model is literally for a community of people, this can actually be a threat on your business. Now, for example, we've got Amazon. Now, people have a love-hate relationship with Amazon. COVID-19 has actually cemented Jeff Bezos as, the richest man in the world or something like that, because, there's been a lot of demand for Amazon products. People have gone to Amazon because when people want to, buy something, they go to Amazon first because they can't go to the shops as often as they would. And so, he's taken advantage of globalization. Although there's a lot of controversies about, how they do business and stuff, that's one prime example of how globalization can be of good effect to your business. Now, alternatively though, how Amazon has been operating has actually put a threat. He's literally threatened a lot of business. I know Toys R Us that literally had to shut down because Amazon literally took, companies like Amazon has taken them out of business based upon their business model. So now because I know it's the background of people here. So people, we've got hairstylists on here. If you haven't introduced yourself, please do, so that I can also speak based upon your context as well. So we've got a finance enthusiast on here as well. So as a finance enthusiast, actually globalization can work in favor of you, Abigail, because you can actually stream your sessions online. You can create webinars, and you can create packages. You can have Zoom calls with your clients all across the world and be able to service them all across the world. And so that is actually in favor of you. And actually, one of the things as well, people that have, for me, from a business perspective, I sometimes have an issue with how globalization affects businesses, because it puts the people who are the poorest in society behind, because they might not have the social mobility to be able to kind of make the most of globalization. So there's almost like a winners and losers game that goes on there. However, because of the way the system is set up, and sometimes we can't change it, what can we do to make sure that we're maximizing our profits and we're maximizing our impact in the current system that we're in? So in that case, what can you do to make sure that you are maximizing the amount of people that you can reach right now, especially right now in the time of COVID-19? Now, things like the online systems, can you actually run an ad? Like, for example, with finance enthusiasts, can you run an ad, that actually opens up your webinar to people across the world, you know, to people in the United States, to people in Africa, in Nigeria, in Ghana, all these places. And actually you're able to get, you know, as many people as possible to be engaged with your product. And actually the ripple effect of that after COVID-19, you know, is great, because now you have data of customers all across the world, and you can sell to customers all across the world. And actually that gives you a lot more validation that your product is really, really important. So I know that Abigail is running a masterclass, a webinar for Christians and their finance or something. So if you are a Christian and you're interested in finance, be sure to register. It's just £1.50 if you want to register to that webinar as well. So things like that, those types of examples. Let me see if I can help somebody else. So who else is next? So Elizabeth, hairstylist. Again, hairstylist business. Can you do a thing where you literally run on online masterclasses, like exclusive ones? Because when people do lives, when people do like Instagram lives, I mean, I've done it myself on the Neo Hair platform. People don't seem to engage. I mean, from my experience anyway, people don't seem to engage with the live. So why can't you do something exclusive where you speak exclusively to your customers or your, you know, or your potential customers about how to style their hair? So I think this is Elizabeth that does bridal hairstyling. So if that's you, I think if you offer a stylist session with these people on Zoom, and they can actually learn how to style this particular hair, especially for brides who still want to get married, you know, in 2020, you know, or in the next couple of months, but they don't mind not having that many people. Can you actually offer a service like that and actually still charge? Because, you know, bridal hair is not cheap, still charges fee, but you might not be as much as you would charge if you were to do it yourself to a group of brides who want to be able to learn that online. So things like that are the things that we need to be doing to innovate. So it's not just online content, it's not just posting on Facebook or Instagram, it's also thinking about your customer and exactly what is going on through their mind. What do they wish that they had right now? For me, as a customer, I wish that I could be able to get my braids done. I can do my own braids, but I can't be bothered. So can someone, can someone find a solution for me to be able to make sure that I can do that? Things like that. So we need to be thinking about what is the problem for the customer and how can we make sure that we're innovating. Okay, so we've done Elizabeth. Supported living as well. Can you be sharing stories about the people that live in your supported living accommodation, if it's obviously not against you know, your procedure? Because I know that sometimes that can be it can be a bit of a gray area. Can you share their stories? Can you do a documentary? Can you, in fact, if it was the case that they weren't willing to share their stories, can you actually create documentaries that enhance the story? Because actually that, you know, emphasizes that you stand out amongst many other supported living accommodations. Photo shoots, obviously that's a bit of a challenge right now, you know, generally. And actually, to be honest, I actually don't have a quick solution to that. You know, I'm a hair research and development scientist. I've started a new natural care education and empowerment brand for Black women called Town Heroine. Feel free to follow. So we've View Savvy, sorry if I've pronounced your name wrong. You know, similar to the hairstyle, the bridal hairstylist as well. Things like that. How can you actually innovate? Can you create exclusive events, online events, virtual events for Black women? Okay. Is launching you know, a modest clothing line due to COVID. I've had to put things. I don't think you should put things on hold. Continue on. Actually keep working. Make sure that you're telling the story of the process. So people want to see the story. People care about the story behind the modest line. Why do you want to start modest line? You know, and how can we follow that journey? One of the people that I went to school with in Nigeria, her name is, well, I know her as Dumebi, but her name is Andre Yama. She has a beachwear line called Andre Yama, and she makes couture clothing as well. And actually, how she actually was able to become so successful and well known, you know, she's had loads of celebrities wear her swimwear, is because she told her story. And she documented that through video. So even if it's drawing, can you tell your story? Can you share that and encourage people to get that? Because that's how people engage as well. Okay. Oh no, I do more braiding styles, but it definitely applies. Yes, okay, exactly. I think similar thing. Can you do exclusive braiding webinars for your for people? Hi, Faith Rose. So Faith Rose is a youth leadership specialist, works in project management and passionate about storytelling. So Faith, can you do more storytelling videos out there so that people kind of know, and also storytelling workshops online as well? Okay, so hopefully that's helped people in terms of understanding how you can make sure that although you may not agree with globalization and how it's affected your business, a lot of people who believe in more of the capitalist side of things may say, oh, may get angry at the capitalist, but actually, if you're a socialist, you shouldn't get angry at the capitalist, but you try and outwork the capitalist, okay, by actually make sure they're expanding your programs. Okay, right. So monopolization versus competition. Now, this is an economic it's an economic, what's it called, concept. So when we look at, when you look at monopolization, do you want to be the only person in the market? If that's the case, that's okay, that's fine. I'm not competition market authority, and I'm not gonna, blame me for wanting to be the only one in the market. Or do you want to be someone who's who's in competition? Let's face it, there is competition, and even if you're a monopoly, there is still going to be competition. But what would make you different is that you have 25% or more of the market share. Now, obviously, with a monopoly, you own 25% or more of the market share, and with competition, you are, people can choose. So, for example, I have this phone case. Now, I go on eBay, I buy it. There's like 6 options on eBay. I pick one, and actually, if they're all homogeneous, that means if they're all the same, I'm going to just pick the cheapest one. So if you want to, go in line with the competition, and you know that there is a lot of competition in your marketplace, do you want to compete on price? And if you're not competing on price, how are you going to make sure that you're differentiating yourself? So as I said before, this phone case, if I see everything the same, if I see all phone cases look this way, I'm going to pick the one that's the cheapest. But actually, if maybe someone actually provided me with a phone case, and it said Forbes, and I can actually customize it and say my name, Oyin, I might be willing to pay, this might be £4 or whatever. I might be willing to pay an extra £4 to get my name on it. And actually, that person has won. So looking at ways where you can be creative to make sure that if you want to stay in competition, you are getting ahead of your competition, okay? You are differentiating yourself. Now, if you want to be a monopoly, now you need to be doing things above and beyond. So that needs to go from, not just from the pricing or just from the little things, little differences that you offer to the customers, but also to do with your brand. How is your brand differentiated? How are you communicating? Like when you look at Apple, there's nothing to me that's much more special than from a MacBook an iPhone to a Samsung phone. But I will always choose an iPhone. And obviously both are oligopolies. That means there's 2 of them. There are 2 massive players in the market. Now, I will always choose an iPhone because of the experience and how it makes me feel, and how they've connected to my deep problem. Okay, so have a think about, okay, am I in a competition? Hi, America. I'm from Sierra Leone, and I'm creating buy goods as well. Oh, hi, nice to see you. It's so good to see you. International guest. Now you may be thinking, how do I know if I'm going to a monopoly or I'm going to be a contestant? Now, a monopoly doesn't happen over time. It doesn't happen overnight, sorry. It happens over time, okay? It happens over time, and also it happens when you have buying power. Okay, so you've got to be able to pick everybody out. And I'm not saying that's what we should do, but I'm just saying these are the facts out there. Now, competition, you know, and also what in terms of monopoly as well, in terms of monopoly as well, it's also to do with how many players are there in the market, how niche are your products. So, for example, Faith Rose storyteller, I don't see a lot of storytellers out there. So actually, easily she could become a monopoly. But at the same time, she needs to make sure that she's innovating, because if someone else comes in, how can she make sure that she's ahead of the curve? Okay, so bear with me, guys. Sorry. Okay, so if you got any questions, by the way, because I know sometimes I can talk a bit fast, please do put it in the chat box and I can answer them. Right. Now, I was talking about Jeff Bezos, or Bezos. I don't know how you say his name properly. He's now the world's richest man. Now, some people are bitter about that because of obviously issues with Amazon not paying tax or whatnot. However, you know, his business model answers the problem of people. I'm being honest, I've ordered off Amazon since coronavirus because I can't have access to things that I want. You know, it's become a one-stop shop. And it's interesting to see, if you look at Amazon, if you guys remember, if you guys are old enough, you remember that Amazon started as a bookshop. It started as a bookshop, but Jeff Bezos was able to kind of diversify and expand from just a bookshop to a company that caters for everybody's needs. So how can they start from a bookshop and end up being an online store that sells everything that you probably can think of? I'm sure, you know, even plantain now, you can get plantain off Amazon. It's obviously a bit more expensive and you get it, you know, in our local shop, but you could get plantain off Amazon. You can get hair extensions off Amazon. So what can we do to make sure that we're diversifying? Because the recession that is it's already started. We just don't study it because we're probably more focused on coronavirus. The recession that's already here, and it's going to even hit us even more afterwards, is going to actually, unfortunately, put us in a position where we will have to start to think about what are the essentials that we need as consumers, number one, and number two, how can we survive as businesses, and how can we make sure that we are catering to people's new needs? Because actually, my need before coronavirus was just, my needs were, oh, I'm going to get some food, I'm going to get some perfume, I'm going to get this and that, and I can afford to put some not so necessities that I thought were necessities in my shopping bag. But actually, this pandemic has made me think, actually, I don't need that. I don't need a perfume. I don't need £70 perfume or whatever. I don't need £60 perfume. So my behavior is going to change. And a lot of consumers, you're going to notice that a lot of consumers' behaviors are going to change after this. People are going to struggle because because a lot of people's income will be affected by the recession that's going to come with this. Because you have to remember, the markets have not been able to operate as they should over the last four weeks since the lockdown in the UK. But across the globe, this started in China. So it started in China in the lockdown started in January, I believe. The disease has been happening since November, you know, and so you can see that the world market has started to be the effect of coronavirus on the economy has started since November. So it's going to take a while for us to be able to come back from this, because people aren't behaving like as they normally would. Okay, so now I was talking about monopolizing. So I want to let you know that please don't monopolize to, you know, just take the market. Monopolize to liberate. You know, so what do I mean by that? You may want to have that dream. I mean, for us at Neo Enterprise, we have the dream to be like the Unilever for Black businesses, and I have no apology about that. That's quite a monopoly type of agenda. However, we don't do that to just make sure that we have a massive market share. But we want to do that to also liberate others. So start to think, how can I help others? You know, you are going to come out of this better. But how can I help others? You know, even if I was to reach that dream of monopolizing, how can I help others, and how can I make sure that everybody else is also coming along with me? Okay. And if you want to stay comfortably in the competing part, compete to collaborate. Okay. So what I mean by that is, if you see that you may have a competitor, you know, and you can't, and you know, your customers may be going to the competitor, why not collaborate? Because that way you can actually make sure that you're meeting both demands. Right. Okay. Now, the business cycle. So this is the economic cycle, and this is how our economy has behaved over for as long as I can remember, for centuries. So first of all, what we tend to see is that we see an expansion. So we go into a peak, and then we see contraction. We go into trough, and that's when we get a recession. You know, we're actually overdue as an economy a recession. We're overdue a recession. Our last recession was in 2008, right? That's when we had the financial crisis. And normally, based upon this theory, we're meant to have a recession, and this is just normal of economic cycles. We're meant to have a recession at least every 5 years, but we're overdue. We're over 12 years, you know, without a recession. And so for us to be overdue, as well as COVID-19, you can see that that's quite, you know, a massive effect on us. And so now, based upon what I've just said, I've spoken about monopolization. I've also spoken about competition. Now, when obviously the markets crash. I hate saying that, but it's just the reality. The markets crash, or people may not be behaving as they would. What can you do to make sure that people are behaving? I know for sure, right, that you know, people may not fancy getting their hair done as often, you know, but what can I do to diversify that? Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create those classes, for example, that I mentioned about earlier on, or I'm going to sell products. So diversification is so important. Not just when people think diversification, they think, okay, I need to make sure that I have multiple streams of income for myself, but also you also need to think about diversification within your business, right? I'm really, really studying people's patterns right now. People are going to always need their hair done. Don't get me wrong, but actually, what are the attitudes? What are the changes? And if you predict a behavioral change and it doesn't happen, then that's fine. However, you also need to make sure that you're prepared for if there was a behavioral change. As I said earlier on, you know, the sales of perfume may decrease massively because people may think I don't need perfume. You know, house prices, you know, decrease because people are scared that they might not be able to commit to getting a new house. So making sure that we're diversifying our products. And now let me speak about this also in the perspective of a macroeconomy. When you look at different countries, so we've got countries like the United Kingdom, we've got countries like Nigeria, we've got countries like China. Okay, I'm going to use those three countries. The United Kingdom, when you look at their diversification wheel, so basically all of the products in their economy, they're very much a diversified economy. They've got plenty of products and services, with most of the products and services being in financial services, right? We've got Nigeria, okay? In fact, let me start with China. We've got China, very diverse economy, mostly to do with manufacturing, where they're trying to pivot into technology now. And then we've got Nigeria. Nigeria is very much reliant on oil, not diverse at all. There's been a lot of debate about making sure that they're diverse. Now, now the price of oil has decreased massively. And that's because we're not moving as much as we would. We're not driving as much as we would. And actually that's put a threat upon the Nigerian economy and actually caused the economy to crash. How does this have to do with your business? The reason why I've said that is because we need to make sure that we're thinking about how can we diversify our products, diversify our offerings, because if you're relying on one thing that's not recession proof, that could end up being a crash onto your business. So for example, if you're an oil company, you know, this would have affected your, you know, this you know, crisis would have affected your business massively because people aren't demanding oil anymore, right? But if you're a tissue paper company, there's a lot of high demand for it. If you're a food company, there's a lot of high demand for it. So how can you put necessities into your business model? And how can you make sure that even if your main selling point is not selling, what are the other things that you can inject in there? Okay, so any questions so far before I move on to this bit? I don't want to go too quick. Any questions? Does everyone understand what I'm saying as well? Because I know that sometimes economics can be a bit boring. Okay, got some questions coming in. Yes, okay. Yes. Awesome. All right, we can move on. All right, so now I want to talk to you as an individual business person as well. Now, a lot of customers are going to be asking, why should I buy from you? You're right. Why should I? That's the question that's going to be going through their mind. Why should I sign up to your service? Why should I sign up to your program? So you have to be really make sure that you're validating them, and also make sure that you understand you and understand what offering you provide. So think about why me, right? Why am I important? So people buy off Apple because of Steve Jobs' legacy till today. And that is something to do with his character, and it's something to do with him that people are so attracted to make them want to buy from Apple. So it's actually to do with people's attraction to you as a business owner. So if you're a business owner and you have a business, maybe you may be selling water bottles, for example, I don't know. Try and make sure that you are incorporating your personal brand with your business as well, so that people know the face of the brand, because people are going to be a bit more selective with what they choose to invest in and buy. Okay. Think about, why should the company exist in this time? Okay. Your profit should be your results, not your why. Your why should be the problem of the consumer. Now that the behaviors may change, think about why, what are the problems? What are the pain points of the customers right now? Let me just, if I just say my own pain point right now is that, I can't go and buy plantain when I want to buy it on Amazon. I keep saying plantain, I'm craving some plantain because on Amazon is too expensive. Can you provide something for me? I'm not saying you should change your business model, but these are some of the pain points that we need to think about. What are people, and also maybe you can ask your friends, ask people around you, your community, what are your major pain points, and use that to pivot your business. You can frame those questions around your business idea as well. You don't have to go, just because you're a hair business, you don't have to go all the way to plantain. No, you can frame it around. So ask people, what are their major hair needs? What do they wish that they knew? What do they want to learn, right now? Okay. Why should strangers care? As I said earlier on, people are going to be a bit nitpicky. Your friends may buy, but why should strangers care? Right now is a time where we need to make sure that we're inspiring people, not manipulating people. And I'm not saying that that's quite strong. Manipulation is quite a strong word. But what I mean by that is manipulation can be quite transactional, but inspiration is empowering. How can you empower your customers, right? You would be surprised, when customers if a customer, takes a photo of your product and puts it on their story and you repost it, that's you empowering your customer. Simple things like that can make your customer feel even more emotionally connected. Because guess what? People buy because of emotion. I sometimes go to the shop and I come back and I didn't budget to buy that thing. I bought because I was emoted. I bought because of emotion. I bought because I felt like I should, because of my emotions. So people buy because of emotion. So how can we make sure that we are making, how can we make sure that you are literally listening to people's emotions and connecting with their emotions with your products? It takes a while to foster. It does, especially if people don't know you, or you may not be an influencer or whatever. It takes a while, but it's worth it. Manipulation. Remember, we're talking about competition earlier on. What manipulation does is that it puts you in perfect competition. So it puts you in that place where, I have to choose between two of you because both of you are offering the same products. Both of you are £4. I have to choose between both of you. Now, as you can see, if one brand, even if one brand wasn't going to change their packaging of this, if I go on the brand social media and I can see they're doing good things to empower people, I will buy from that brand in comparison to others. So if you can't compete on price, can you make sure that you're inspiring? Because actually people are connected to that. Don't compete on price because, if you're selling things that are homogenous, your why is your USP. So for example, our unique selling point as Neo Enterprise is our why we're doing this. Our why is not necessarily to make, billions and millions. Our why is to be able to break the cycle of poverty amongst Black women. That's our why. And that will be the blueprint of what we do everything from. So make sure that you're establishing your why, and why you, why your company, why your purpose, so that's your USP, and also why should strangers care, and thinking about inspiring rather than manipulating, especially in this time. And also being sensitive, being aware. It's really easy for us to be like, oh, coronavirus, everyone's talking about coronavirus, but actually we need to make sure that we're sensitive to our customers. You might not know, maybe 20% of your customers have lost somebody from coronavirus. And if you were ignoring that, if you were not putting attention to that message, ignoring that part, you're actually not catering to the emotion of your customers. Okay. As I said, don't do it for money. Do it to solve a genuine problem, because once you can do it to solve a genuine problem, people will be more, inclined to buy from you. But I have to say that problems are messy, okay? Because sometimes only you can see the opportunity, okay? Only you can see the opportunity. Right. Now, how do we make sure that we are, consistent with our brand? Because there's going to be a lot of hard times. However, these are the things that I can think of that will help you remain consistent and make sure that you're pushing regardless of the issues that may arise. So trust in your idea, okay? Trust in your crazy idea, right? Trust in in the fact that this is meant to exist. Patience, also have patience. Let me give you an example of what I mean by trust. So we all know Apple right now. We know Apple for Macs, for iPhones, for iPads, and everything like that. But Apple started off by taking another person's idea because they didn't trust in their idea. I think is it Xerox? Is that the name of the company? Xerox actually made the first ever computer. And they made this massive operating systems. And they were like, this is just too time consuming, it's too much. And I remember I was watching this in a video, and I was actually reading in Steve Jobs, one of Steve Jobs' memoirs. Steve Jobs went into Xerox and was like, I want to be able to see this. Can you please help? Like, can I please understand this computer a bit more? And they were like, yeah, we don't even care about it anyway. We don't trust in it anyway. Steve Jobs, I believe Steve Jobs paid her. I don't think he did pay. I think he paid to then, watch them produce this thing. And actually from Xerox, I think they bought it off. I think they might have bought the operating system from Xerox. From Xerox, they made the first ever Mac computer, Macintosh computer, the first ever computer in the world. well, it wasn't the first, the first ever consumer computer. And what Xerox actually did was that they were only selling one of that, one unit of that computer that they made to, I believe it was to universities for specific things, and they could only sell one to one university at a time. But what Apple did was that they basically looked at their systems, and they were like, I think, Steve Jobs was like, you guys can actually, make sure that this reaches more people. They're like, no, we don't want to do that. We don't trust that will happen. And Steve Jobs was not able to mass produce this. And that's why we have Apple the way it is today. And so do you see why it's important to make sure that you are trusting your idea, and actually not just trusting your idea, but actually thinking big about it as well, not just limiting yourself. So with Elizabeth, that's the hairstylist who does braiding, thinking big about your hairstyling business. It shouldn't just be about being just you. It should be, okay, me, if you're more of a business owner than a stylist, it should be me, and there should be other women that I'm also working with and empowering. How can you create something innovative like that? So that's kind of what I'm saying. Trust in the idea, trust in the process, and trust in the fact that you can actually make it bigger than it is right now. Patience is another one. It is going to be hard. There's going to be a lot of failures, and there's going to be a lot of downturns, especially right now. But persistence, patience, resilience, and consistency really does help, because at the end of the day, it helps with track record anyway and traction. Marriage, what does that mean? Being married to your idea, married to your vision, and not divorcing it, because you came into this not for life really, but for a specific time until the time where you say you're going to exit the business. Embrace the failure and fail forward and fail fast. Okay, be resilient, discern distractions. Right now, there's going to be a lot more distractions than ever. But make sure that we're discerning before it comes to attack us, and then focus as well. Okay, and then put boundaries in place to making sure that we're focusing. All right. So as I've been talking about all throughout this, study behavior, study your industry, study the economy, definitely. A lot of times business owners can spend time studying just them and their business and studying their customers. But actually, if you take time to study the economy, you can prepare. And I guess that's what Wimbledon did, you can prepare a long time. Do things differently. Everyone is chasing the same platform. How can you monopolize and achieve exponentially different results? Now, I want to talk about the case study of this Instagram fitness coach. I first heard about her in Sharmadoon Reed's business webinar, was it a couple of weeks ago? Basically, this business coach realized, okay, hang on, I'm a personal trainer. I can't make money right now because I can't go and personal train. What can I do? So she started doing online Instagram lives every day. I think it was a specific time every day. I think the first time she probably had like 15 ladies join, and then that just spiraled out to like hundreds of thousands of people or something like that join in. And then she was like, you know what? She did it for free, I believe for a week or two. Then she was like, you know what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to I'm going to ask the ladies, do you want to pay, for my online, like, do you want to have exclusive access to my online fitness class? And she charged, I think she charged like, was it £10 a month or something like that? And she didn't even have to create any tech. She literally just created a different Instagram page, and she made it on private. She put it on private, and she, if you pay, you get confirmed that you are in, and she accepts your request. And it's on there. That's when the community is. And actually, as of right now, last time I checked, she has over 8,000 women on her platform on Instagram, by the way. So if you do the maths, 8,000 times £10 a month, that's 80,000. Okay, that's 80,000, just like that. Just in a click of an eye. So can you do something like that for her? Like, can you create a community? But the reason why she was successful is because she asked her customers, if I was to do this, would you want to do it? They said yes, and then she got them on there. And she was like, there's not been a lot of cancellations since, because you know sometimes when people subscribe, they cancel, and she's not had that. So things like that, thinking about ways to be innovative and creative with little resources is really important, especially in times like this. Okay, that's me. We've got a podcast called the Woke Up Podcast. Be sure to give it a listen. And I really want to encourage you to listen on there, because I and Lauli, we do some really insightful stuff, and we talk about different things like creativity, innovation, vision on there. Give it a listen and let us know what your thoughts are. And actually, you've heard me speak for, I think, an hour and a half or so now, an hour. On there, you'll be able to hear us even speak and delve deeper into different topics. Does anyone have any questions? So you can unmute yourself now, but if you do it, unmute yourself one by one, and then you can ask your questions. Any specific questions? If you don't want to unmute yourself, you can also type too. Okay. So we've got one question here. Learned so much. Thank you, Issy. Ways to diversify your business as a blogger. Woo, that's a good one. I think a lot of bloggers now are actually being very innovative with the way they diversify their business as bloggers. Can you sell t-shirts? So I've got a t-shirt right now that's a Fearless. This is not made by me. But right now I could have been wearing my own t-shirt that I made for myself, and I could monetize. I could share that with you guys and give you the opportunity to buy it if I had thought about that before this. So if you're a blogger, can you actually start to sell physical, tangible product that reflects your branding as well? Any other questions? By the way, you can unmute yourself as well if you don't want to type. You can type if you don't want to talk as well. I'm dealing with how to market sensitively because of COVID. I don't have it the worst, but it's a guilt trip promoting non-essentials at this time. I do not think that it's bad to promote your business, because at the end of the day, what is the reason why we're in COVID? It's because of major health issues, and also a lot of issues that people are dealing with right now is to do with not having money. And so actually it's fine to promote yourself. It's fine to promote yourself. It's fine to actually share what you've got, but also make sure that you are sensitive about what you're doing. So what a lot of people are doing right now is they're doing sales. So you could do a sale. You can do a 20% off. Oh, hi guys, I'm doing a 20% off. I understand right now that it's a bit of a difficult time for most people. Here's a code. That way, actually, that 20% off. People don't realize that promotions actually help. Promotions actually help in terms in like people getting to know you more. So because someone bought your earrings, Lulu, for less than the price that it was naturally listed, people would be more likely to buy. I don't think it's incentive. If I want an earring, I want an earring. It's just that you've got to do what you've got to do, and you've got to leave the consumer to make the decision. As long as you're not jeopardizing as long as you're not abusing the current climate, and I'm sure you're not. So, okay. Does anyone have any other questions? Thanks, Lulu. Thank you, Emerika, as well. It's really been a pleasure having you. By the way, you can unmute yourself, please don't be shy. Or you can do a chat, put on the chat. Okay, right. If there are no more questions, I'm just going to quickly go over the plan for the week again, just so that you guys are aware. So tomorrow, I keep saying tomorrow, on Thursday, we are going to be having Laulu lead the session, and it's going to be about how to add value to your customers now and post-COVID. So I've touched a little bit about it, I've dashed a little bit on there. Identifying habits and trends of consumers during the lockdown and during economic downturn, and also identifying data points. So Laulu, Dominique, the CEO of Hair Pop, and also Dawn, the CEO of a company called Woke BD, a marketing company, will be on here. I'm going to answer that question in a minute. iPad, I believe. Right. Now, next week, week 2, on Monday, the 27th, I believe it's, Monday, the 27th, we're going to have Recession Readiness. What are other businesses doing to prepare? Okay. So it's going to be exciting. Trust me, you don't want to miss any of these days, because it's literally a build up from now till then. So we're going to have Andy Ayim, myself, and Lulu Pierre going to be here talking about basically business model canvases, how to make sure that you are recession proof. And then on the 30th, we're going to have strategy and risk planning by Daniel Genus, and also supply chain management and legal advice by Lauren Lefranc, who is the founder of Little Coffee Company, speak as well. So make sure that, if you've not brought your notes this time, that you bring your notes next time, and you're taking some notes. Someone said, how easy is it to get funding or investment for a Black hair business during this time? Now, currently, the funding options that are available, off the top of my head, I think let me actually get my notes out, because I've actually got notes about this. Bear with me. 1 second. So right now, the funding options that are available are for £10,000 if you have a premises. Okay, so I don't know if you are a mobile hairstylist or you actually have a shop. You get £10,000 automatically from the government. From that's £10,000 grant. There's also something called the CBILS loan. Okay, that's a loan given by the government. If you feel like you want to get a loan, and I believe they're interest free, and they're also very lenient on the payback options. If you don't, if you employ staff, you can furlough them, and 80% of their wages can be covered. The other thing as well is, if you are self-employed, you can claim universal credit, and obviously these options aren't the best really for small business, micro businesses, to be fair. And I believe 80% of your money can be covered as well in June, and you have to let them know now. So those are the COVID-19 funding options that I know of that are available out there. If anyone else knows anything else, please put them on here. In terms of other funding options, right now there's a lot of, depending on what your mission is, there's a lot of funding also out there to help bring solutions to COVID-19, especially among Black communities. So can you do something around that? But in terms of right now, I don't think that there is a lot, unfortunately, aside from what I've said. Now, how easy is it to get it afterwards, after the COVID-19? It would just depend on how you present it. I don't know what your hair business is about in depth. So yeah. So Elizabeth, is it okay to ask for customer pain points through Instagram stories, or asking what they want to learn? Okay. Is it okay to ask for customer pain points? So yes, it is, but you don't just say, what are your pain points? Because they're not going to answer. You have to ask specific questions. You've got to ask really, really specific and direct questions about pain points. So for example, I know that Dominique from Hair Pop actually is running some focus groups online right now about the worst experience that you've ever had at the hairdressers. Do you see what I mean? Like things like that, to be able to get people talking. Those are ways that you can really, really decipher. You can also say, why do you like to get your hair done? I remember when we asked that question, we found really interesting conversations, and actually you can spiral that out. Also, you can ask them what they want to learn, ask them what they desire to learn in this time. So yeah, those are my responses to all the questions. Hope they helped. Okay, we've still got 15 minutes or so to answer any questions, if you guys have any. If you don't have any, I'm okay to leave you. But before I leave you, as I said, please don't forget about the upcoming dates. Also, if you know any friends that you think will benefit from this, please share this with them as well. Because it wouldn't just be me, it would be multiple other people speaking to. What else was I going to mention? Yeah, just follow us on Instagram at Neo Enterprise, on Facebook Neo Enterprise. Thank you, Kashka. On Instagram, Neo Enterprise, on Facebook, Neo Enterprise, and LinkedIn, Neo Enterprise on all platforms, essentially. And also, we also have a mailing list. So if you go on neoenterprise.com, if you've never been on the website, you can sign up to our mailing list. We send out really, really good content to our people. So the people on our mailing list every week. So sign up to our mailing list. Also, if you want to contribute, if you're already part of the mailing list, you can also be a contributor to the mailing list as well. Okay, so yeah, that's it from me. I believe that's everything covered. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Now I'm going to quickly get your feedback through the poll. Bear with me, guys. Steady. Okay, look, this is how you do it. Right, so if you guys just want to answer, so if you found it useful, I'm gonna launch this. Okay, so there's a poll active already. So if you found the poll, just answer. Can we write down your brand, please? It was very easy to listen, focus, and it was nice and clear. Thank you so much. We are called Neo Enterprise, NIYO Enterprise. www.neoenterprise.com. What else? At Neo Enterprise on Instagram. If you have any specific feedback for us, please feel free to DM us or email us on admin@neoenterprise.com as well. Okay, so 8 out of 13 people have voted. Oh, 4 people from not from the UK. That is amazing. So where is everyone else from apart from America being from Sierra Leone? Can you tell me where you're from so we can put this down? 2 more people. I'm waiting for 2 more people to vote on the poll so we can see how everyone found this session. So if you go on polling, there's a poll on polling and you can answer questions there. Okay. No worries, Lady P. There's going to be many more opportunities over the next 2 weeks. Just make sure that you take. We do start on time. To come on time the next 2 weeks. Okay, so I'm going to just end it here. Thank you so much for all 15 of you that have joined this webinar. I hope more people will join. Please share with your friends and your colleagues as well who you think will be really interested, who really enjoyed. I can see that at least 55% of you have found this very useful. So please do share with people who you think would benefit from this. It's been a pleasure getting to know you guys and getting to know people from different parts of the world as well. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you guys again on Thursday, where we'll be talking about more things to do with marketing and know your customers. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.